Hi, this is Martin Høybye.
Hello.
How are you doing, Martin?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm great. It's great to be here in Brundby Rock Hotel again.
Yes, it
So,
is.
yeah, why are you here?
Well, I'm here to co-write for a couple of days with like-minded individuals, yes.
Okay, like-minded individuals. That sounded great. So, do you do a lot of co-writing?
I have done a lot of co-writing, yes. Later years, it's not as much as it used to be, but certainly something I've done quite a bit of.
Yeah. So, if you can choose, what do you prefer? Is there a mix of?
Oh, I wouldn't say I preferred one for the other, really.
No.
It's two very different experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of interesting songs come out of co-writing that would never come out if I was writing on my own.
Yeah. So that's a benefit that.
It's very, yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah. So, how many times have you been here?
I have lost count. I haven't tried counting actually, but I know that I go back 15 years at least here, and so it's 2012, you know, so it's something like 1997 I came here for the first time, and have participated in numerous retreats. Back in the day they were called Song Island and were put on by a man called Frank Marstock from Norway, music producer and drummer. And then I think he put on his retreat somewhere else, and Brett Perkins started having retreats here, and I went to a few of those, and then I haven't gone to any of those retreats for a long time, so this is my first one in like years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is this something you could recommend to songwriters for?
Well, retreats are, when Brett called me and asked me if I wanted to be on this one, I was the first one to opt in for this opportunity. So he asked me early on, which is a really good idea to get things going early on. And for me, I said yes because even though I've written songs for 25 years and I've taught songwriting and I've put out a number of albums and have stuff on other people's records and stuff, it's as inspiring to me as it would be to a newbie rookie songwriter to be in this kind of setting, because it's just it draws you out of your comfort zone completely, which is something we need to continually try to do, to push the limits of our comfort zones as artists.
Absolutely, I agree, totally. So, what's going on right now for you as an artist?
Well, it's quiet on the Western Front right now. I put out an album 8 months ago, which was predominantly a commercial country sounding record that had actually a lot of co-writes on it as well, but that I had been working on for a very long time, and so since that release, I've toured with that, and now it's the summer, as you may be able to tell from my tan.
Yes,
video,
I guess.
So I'm actually at the end of my summer holiday, and I just wanted to finish on a nice note with this retreat, and write some new stuff, and look forward to the next release in the near future, hopefully. So
do you know when the next release will be?
Well, no, there's nothing scheduled, but I know that I have one record done that I want to release, and it's been done for a while, and then I have another one written that I want to record. But I still want to also be on the lookout for great new songs.
Okay.
Yeah. Not necessarily for me. I'm not particularly interested in releasing a lot of material in my name. I would, it's just whoever puts a song out is fine by me. I just like to see them come out there and work.
Okay. Can you tell me how did you start with music? Have you always been doing music, or? Well,
I think it's like many other songwriters. There was an instrument in the house when I was a child, and I played around with it. And the instrument we had was a guitar. We didn't have a piano. If we had a piano, I would probably have been a piano player today. And I didn't ever really take lessons. I just there was some music teaching in the school that I went to. And that was great. You learned to play some guitar chords, and I just took it from there, really. And in my teenage years, I just completely submerged myself in records and music, all kinds of guitar-oriented songwriting.
Okay, so music has always been
Always, yes. And I started writing when I was 15 years old. I lived out in the sticks in the countryside, and there really wasn't a lot going on, and I don't know why or how I got started. I think probably from listening so much as I did to other people's records, it's just naturally emerged. This drive for putting my own thoughts into words, and so I guess I could have written short stories, which I don't remember if I did, but I guess the music must have been so pervasive in me that that's the form that it came out in.
Yeah.
To start with, and then once the ball is rolling, oftentimes the thing that gets you started is the one you keep sticking to.
Yeah.
Which in my as I've grown older and I've turned 40 and sort of hit middle age, and I look back, I'm like, I'm not even sure that it was the right vehicle for my creativity. It's I've done written many songs, and of course it was the right vehicle. It's just that I think we can use this energy in many other respects, and partly because of the pressure from the music industry that I felt at certain points in my life, I focused a lot on songwriting and the production of music, and it became a product that I became very, very good at producing and controlling, and which is, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it tends to limit an understanding of what you can actually do with this creativity, and I think you can do a lot more than become a product.
That's interesting to hear.
Yeah.
So, okay, and that's coming from doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
So probably you have to go that path in order to.
Sure, you couldn't possibly know this beforehand.
No.
It's not. Those learning years I wouldn't be without. I think I learned through music. I've learned so much about. Too many things to mention here. But it's hard work, and people that don't know about that kind of work probably don't necessarily appreciate that it is. But I can certainly vouch for the fact that it takes a lot of dedication and hard work ethic to get anywhere, really, unless you're incredibly monetarily talented and just have things land in your lap, which I'm sure happens to some people, but not always.
Yeah, not all the time. No. Probably not.
Right.
Okay, so can you mention a songwriter that has been really important for you as an inspiration, source of inspiration?
Yeah. Well, I have to mention Bob Dylan. I know a lot of people mention Bob Dylan, but the thing is, I was born in 1972, and Bob Dylan had probably written the most part of his catalog by then, at least the catalog that most people know. So I grew up with this voice as a child, and it was sort of introduced into my nervous system. Like anything else, really. Like how does milk taste? How does cat feel? Mommy is nice. That's how far back Bob Dylan's sound goes. So I didn't have a filter that said, "Oh, that voice is kind of not very commercial," or that's a really weird lyric, or that song is too long, or anything like that. So anyway, so remember those early experiences, like any other experience, like with Elvis Presley or the Beatles or ABBA or other big acts of the time. But then I didn't really think anything of him or hear much about him or hear any of his music for years and years. And then as a teenager, I discovered his catalog again, and I listened to Biograph, which is a compilation album that has a lot of very, very interesting stuff on it, and I sort of just dove into that and breathed that songwriting. Alongside Bob Dylan, there were other protégés of his tradition in songwriting that just sort of got somewhere else entirely. Were Mark Knopfler, and there were Tom Petty, and who was a big act at the time when I was a teenager, and Bruce Springsteen, of course, and lots and lots of great songwriters that I started listening to. But I'd say that Dylan was the most, probably the most inspirational.
Yeah. Would you recommend young people today to listen to him in order to?
Yeah, I would recommend to do what Bob Dylan did, which is to educate oneself by listening to as much good songwriting as possible. He listened to Woody Guthrie, who would in turn listen to, Blind Lemon Jefferson, or and Bob Dylan would educate himself in the respect that he would listen to any old record he could get his hands on.
Yeah.
At all, and I mean get his hands on. And when you're young, you have an outstanding and special opportunity to subject yourself to art and have it influence the way you develop as an artist. So actually, you can make some pretty interesting choices if knowing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So the last question I have for you: do you have a particular song of yours that you really love right now? Because I know it goes up and down.
It does. It does.
It would be nice to hear.
I rediscovered, because I've written, even for a prolific songwriter, I guess I've written a lot of songs because I just really was going at it for years and years, and I rediscovered a whole album that I had just sort of recorded on a mini disc or something at some point, and I had luckily saved digitally, and I'd been listening to the whole thing this summer, so that was a nice thing to have this whole album pop back. It was a concept album about time, so all these songs were about time. So I've been listening to a few of those songs that are not available. I haven't put out an album yet where those songs are on. But it made me think about the wonder of being able to revisit your own work years later, which is I think is very unique and inspiring. And last night we're at a retreat right now. As we mentioned earlier, we were in the round playing songs, and I felt an urge to play some really old songs from my first record, and there were a few songs that came up, and so it's really when you ask if there's any one song I'm really just rediscovering a lot of old songs right now. So I played a song last night I haven't played in a long, very years, which is called "Songwriting Man," very fittingly, and it was an ode to Björn Afzelius, a Swedish songwriter that passed some 10 years ago. So that's one song that came up yesterday and that I enjoyed playing again. Yeah.
Wonderful. And so I just recommend everyone who has seen this to visit Martin's website. You have your songs out there, or?
Well, I'm on Facebook, really. I haven't,
Okay.
And I guess that, and then I'm on a thing called Reverb Nation.
Reverb Nation.
Yeah.
That's where we find you.
Yeah.
Okay, and you will find the address here in the blog.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.